This is the Ink, Pray, Love podcast. We talk all things health, wealth, and community connection. Let's go. Welcome back to the Ink, Pray, Love podcast. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you've been enjoying this podcast, and just know I do this for you. This is a gift for you guys. I do it for free. I'm just excited to have you here. I'm excited to share some things from my crazy life that could possibly benefit you. And this is like your daily way to, or weekly, whatever, however often you listen to this, way to join me in my journey in spiritual and personal development and maybe get something out of it that'll help you in your life. So if you do find benefit in the show, can you share it for me, please? Because I do it for free, so hook it up. That's like your fee to hook it up back, right? Share it, give it to your friends that might need some help or might get some benefit in this, and put it out there. Share in your stories, tag me, I'll repost it. I really appreciate it, so thank you for that. And without further ado, today's episode is about restarting your life. Now, you didn't have to crash and burn like mine and start over. You could just be doing a new job, or you could just be doing a new way of living, whatever it is. But restarting your life is something that you can do at any point, but often we only do it when things are fucked. And that's totally okay, because things do get fucked. And that's totally okay. It doesn't mean you're fucked. It just means things get fucked. So how to unfuck yourself is to create a plan to restart your life and to know that this is something you can do at any time. Now, you might know, my story. I was a drug addict and drug dealer. I fucked up my life here in Vancouver. I was hopelessly addicted to drugs. I didn't want to be a drug dealer anymore. My friends were shooting and kidnapping each other. It was super scary, and that's not the type of guy I wanted to be. I was never actually a gangster. I was a hustler. I sold dope and was a commodities trades. And when it got to gangster shit actually happening, I was like, I'm going to go do yoga. It happened. I did some plant medicines. It awakened me. I got to see that I was the cause of all my suffering. This is all my fault. And that's the first step in restarting your life, is some accountability. You need to audit, what did you do in this situation to cause it fucking up? And don't beat yourself up about it, but you have to be able to be accountable. You got to be able to be aware of what you did in the situation if you want to grow, if you want to learn. And note that you can be grateful for the lessons instead of beating yourself up about it. This happens many, many times over, right? It's a constant process. And so restarting your life starts off with the accountability aspect, and then realigning to the intention of what you do want. Now, when I started my life over, I just wanted to be a good guy. I just want to be a good person. I don't want to get kidnapped. I don't want any horrible shit happening to me. I want to make a living in something that's honest, that I feel good about. I want to live somewhere where I can be the real me. That's just a big, mush, loving, sweet. I just want to be in that lifestyle, that vibration. I want to follow my spiritual path. That's what I wanted. I saw my intention was, I want to be this. Now, I didn't exactly know how, and that's what I had to reverse engineer. So to restart your life, you got to have the vision of what you want, and then you reverse engineer to figure it out. So I thought, what would a good guy do? Okay, I'll go do good guy things. I started getting into yoga and charity work and giving and changing the way I spoke. I saw the vision of who I wanted to be. At the time, it was a fucking hippie. And I had a beard and mala beads, and I just wanted to be as spiritual looking as possible, because I thought if I looked the part, it would make me spiritual. It's not how it works. You don't need a spiritual costume, to actually be spiritual. It's kind of like when you see people wearing like all Louis Vuitton everything, and you're like, ugh, like it looks cheap. Like there's so much of a costume that it actually looks cheap. Don't get me wrong, nice shit's cool, but if you just have like one or two accessories, I think that's tasteful, and it's okay. You can do the thing. But if your whole thing is made up of how you look, because you need to jam it down everyone's fucking throat, and you're like, look at me, I'm this thing. Nah, it's not worth it. It doesn't work, right? And so at the start of my spiritual journey, I was in the infancy of it. I thought if I just look this way, I'll be that way. And you learn, okay, actually, it's through consistent actions. And if you're ticking away at it and you find out what the person that you'll do does, what the person you want to be, this is what they do, and you start doing those things, yeah, if it flaps like a duck, it's a duck. So go be a duck. Or so. Unfuck your life, become a duck. Thanks for coming to my podcast. So in this case, I restarted my life by also taking a risk on myself. And that's the biggest, scariest thing, because we're so comfortable in what we do, right? So yeah, you see a vision of the person you want to be, and you see that you want to actually go and be this whole new person, but then you actually got to take the leap and go be that guy. And that takes taking a big risk on yourself. So taking that risk on yourself looks like sometimes burning the bridges or burning the boats, that whole saying, and you're going to start over. I sold all my shit. I had to make a commitment and plant my flag to the universe that I'm going to do this thing. So going and doing this thing looked like selling all my stuff, moving away, going for it, and going to a completely different place and going fully into the spiritual path. Now, that might not be for everybody or necessary for everybody. You might not be a drug-addicted drug dealer right now. If you are, it'll work out for you if you just do these things. But say you just want to start a new career path. Say you just want to get out of a toxic relationship. Say you just want to live your life differently and find more contentment and happiness and peace. Totally possible. Just have the vision for it and then take a risk on yourself. Right? That's why I don't trust cryptocurrencies, because I don't understand it. I'm like, but I lost money, but I'll bet on me. I'll start a business with me. And that's a great way to build self-confidence. So in order to take the risk on myself, I had to back myself into a bit of a corner to know it was a do or die thing. I hope that's not so extreme for everybody, but that's often when we make a big change is when we're backed into a corner. So if you are in a corner right now, or if things are just difficult, or you're just not happy with where you are right now, good, great. Be grateful for it, because you're at a place where you will change. It's really hard to get out of the dope game when you're on top. So many of my friends had to wait for something really bad, including me, just to be at a place where it was a do or die or a horrible moment. It's hard to shift when you're comfortable, right? Although spiders say it's really difficult to get up and go for a 5 a.m. run in silk pajamas. That's true. So if you're in a place that is uncomfortable, great. Use it as fuel, because you don't want to live this way anymore. The worst thing you can do in not restarting your life is be okay with mediocrity. And you're just okay with it being kind of shitty, but you're not super happy about it. And you're just like, fuck it, I'll just get drunk on the weekends because this is what I can do to manage the eating pain of this shit eating at you that you're not living your dharma and you're not living your fullest expression of yourself. Fuck that. No, don't live that way. Life is short. At the end of your life, you're going to be pissed that you didn't go for it, that you didn't just go all out on your own development, your own growth, and did everything possible. Leave nothing on the plate. Eat the whole dish, eat the whole steak or quinoa, whatever the fuck you're into. So it's important to take that risk on yourself. And what's the worst that could happen is the next thing I thought. Is well, I'm starting my life over. I'm moving to Bali. I'm going to try to be this big Bali businessman that's spiritual. And if I fuck this up, I'm going to burn through all my savings. And then I'll have to come back, probably get some construction job or something, and live in my parents' basement. And when I weighed it out that way, I'm like, well, it's not that bad. I still have a basement suite. Shout out to my parents. It's super sweet, But damn, that wasn't that bad. I weighed out the worst that could possibly happen, and you're not going to die. It's like, well, you'll be alive, and you'll figure it out from there. So as soon as you accept the worst possible scenario out of you giving it your all, and it's not that bad, doesn't it make taking that risk a little bit easier? So I thought it was like, well, fuck, the potential gain out of restarting my life is I could be a billionaire. It didn't happen, but I could go all out on my dreams and live this super epic mega life, and I'm going to really try for that. Cool. Worst that could happen, basement suite. Well, my mom's a pretty good cook. It's not that bad. So it's like, okay, as soon as you accept that, you act from this position of power that you're okay with risking it now. Even if I lost everything I had, I'd still be alive. I'd still have the basic things around me. I could start again from that place. So go for it. So I've weighed my options. Okay. So if you're going to quit your job, are you going to be okay after? You're not going to, have to live on the streets. Just make sure that you can take a risk from a place that you're going to be all right. And then look at the potential gains and make sure that they're worth it for you, that you're actually motivated from them. It's not some surface level shit. It's actually things that you can see and feel. You can feel this is going to be the right thing to do. The emotions behind it make it worth it. You need to feel things in order to manifest them. And if it feels in your heart, in your body, you're in touch with your emotions, and you're like, emotionally, this is going to be dope. And that's what I felt about starting my life over. I'm like, emotionally, I'm not going to be an absolute mess. And I'll feel good about myself. And I'll finally fucking be proud of myself. Cool, I wasn't. I didn't like myself. I failed at being a drug dealer. That sucks. right? I mean, I was pretty good at it, but I didn't, it's not like I became a career-long criminal. It's just not for me. I want to do good things. So the risk versus cost benefit, great, worked out. The next thing is surrounding myself with the right environment, because changing in the exact same environment is really hard. It's not easy because everyone sees you as something, that one person, and they're going to treat you like that one person. So when you're going to try to be somebody else, you're going to get resistance and friction against it. So it is difficult. I'm not saying you need to cut everybody out of your life, because there is people that are in your corner. Like my folks were in my corner. My best friends were in my corner. So people that wanted me to change who I was, they saw that I was unhealthy, they saw that I was unhappy, and they're like, cool, go do anything other than this misery that you're in right now. Those are the people you need close. Cool, keep those in your environment. But then there's all these other people that are your drinking buddies, in my case, my drug dealing friends, party friends, all this shit that wasn't in alignment to where I wanted to go. And to restart your life, you have to say no to a lot of things in order to say yes to better things. That's just how it works. So you have to be absolutely ruthless with what you're going to cut out of your life. Absolutely ruthless. This is the highest form of self-love here, is getting rid of things that are toxins in your life. Mentally, spiritually, environmentally, fucking drugs, everything. Just get it out of your life. You got to cut it out with a strong, ruthless energy that I'm choosing me. Not, I'm cutting you guys out because you suck, whatever. No, I'm just choosing me. That's the energy that you come at it with. And also, you can be graciously unavailable as well. Yes, you're going to meet friction. Yes, people are going to be like, where are you at? Oh, are you too good for us now? Yes. It's going to be a thing. Fuck it. Look at the potential gain versus the potential loss. Maybe some people will think you're not that cool anymore. You'll survive. You'll be okay. Potential gain, happiness, contentment, life, wealth, like all these awesome things. So when you look at it that way, fuck their opinions. It doesn't matter. Don't give a shit about the opinions of people that you don't want their life. If you don't actually want to trade lives with them, don't count what they say as gospel. I'm not saying, say if your folks, work regular jobs like mine did, to not count their opinions. No, okay, they have qualities that I like, so you can take the opinions of the people, the qualities that you like, but also, I didn't go to my mom and dad for business advice. They were blue-collar jobs, so they did the same thing their entire adult lives. They worked the same jobs. God bless them. I admire their stability, and I admire their sacrifices they made in their lives to provide for me and my sister. Like, yo, that's big respect. So I'll take some advice in certain places. But when it came down to taking risks, to launching businesses, to having my own spiritual and personal development, I'm going to find the people that are doing the things that I want to do or done the things I want to do, especially that have done it successfully. Mentors, teachers, coaches, they've done the thing. That's why it's so important to have the right people in your circle to restart your life. It's so important. Nobody is actually self-made, not one person. You got ideas from somewhere, you had a connection from somewhere, you had a conversation with the right person, and that one idea changed your mind, right? And that's what I love about this podcast is I'm just hoping you get something. Maybe not all of this is for you, but something that you can integrate that changes the way you think and changes the way you look at things. And that's what happened to me by watching fucking Eat, Pray, Love. I saw Eat, Pray, Love. I saw Julia Roberts in a market, and I saw someone doing the Balinese offerings, and that changed my entire life. I saw one idea that got me to think, that struck a chord in me, that flipped the light switch in me, that there's more out there. There's a spiritual world out there that I want to explore. So the smallest little thing can change your whole life if you're open for it. If you're seeing that there's more possibilities out there for you. If you're seeing that this way I'm living right now isn't the entire reality. There's more possibilities. I'm open to infinite possibilities or just more than this. And that's what happened to me. I was open to it. I changed my environment. I changed the people around me. I started taking advice from people that were doing things that I wanted to do, like happy people, not, drug dealers with guns on them. I actually want to go do happy shit. So I went and I did happy shit. And that changed my world massively. And so in restarting my life, I had to pick the new identity, which was I wanted to be somebody good. And I did the good things that a good person would do. And as I further tried to solidify myself, the next point is consistency. Because you're going to have to plant your flag in the person you want to be. But shit's going to happen. Your old patterns will come up. Your people that are from your past will check you. Are you really this guy now? You know, the old addictions, the old patterns, everything it's gonna come up. And you consistently being the new person you want to be is flexing that muscle. It's like going to the gym. Every time I go to the gym, I'm not going to lift less weight than I did before. It's just going to get heavier and heavier. I just got to get comfortable lifting that new heavy weight. But then I get comfortable lifting the heavy weight. Now I can deadlift more than I ever was able to deadlift. And I'm like, cool. Now this weight is comfortable for me to do. It's my new standard of living. But that's what it's going to be like being the new person you want to be for the first little while. Because you're going to lift this weight. You're going to be like, this is heavy. How do I not flip out at people when I'm used to flipping out at people? Or how do I not be absolutely soul crushed when I hear the conversation about money and where I'm at? That hurts. Oh, fuck, I don't want to hear how bad I've been doing. No, until you shift your actions, you get comfortable being in discomfort, you're able to get agency over what you're doing, and now you can act with power. And then that discomfort, that shitty situation that you can't even talk about, starts to become something that you're kind of, okay, you can lift that weight now. Okay, now you can lift that weight. Can you pump it for reps? And then you can pump it for reps. You're like, I've expanded as a human. I'm bigger, I'm stronger. And you have agency over that situation and you can handle that well, right? And once you're able to restart your life in one thing, something, take those skills and you transfer them into the next thing. And that's what it did for me. Was I was able to leave the dope game and move to Bali and start a bed and breakfast. It was like, well, that changed my whole perception on the world of what was possible. I was like, hey, I did a thing. Cool. And I learned Indonesian. I'm like, shit, I learned a language. Cool. And that started getting more and more confidence for myself, right? I didn't really have much of an Instagram following at that time. I was sort of getting into it. It was kind of blowing out. People were getting Instagram like more so, it was becoming like when Facebook was popular. It was already out. Everybody had Instagram, but I didn't take it seriously around building brands. I didn't have the confidence until I opened my first tattoo shop. And Conscious Arts Tattoo Shop, I realized I did a thing. I had the confidence from leaving the dope game, and I restarted my life there. Then I opened my first legitimate business in a bed and breakfast. I had the confidence in there. I restarted that. Oh, cool. I can do business now. I restarted that. And then I realized I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted a brick and mortar, my first brick and mortar business. I had to restart my life again to now be an entrepreneur with a store. And that was it. But I used the confidence from restarting in all these other little mini areas. I restarted the language I spoke. I restarted my mental habits. I restarted meditation practice. I started doing yoga. I did all these new things. So to be a new person, you got to do new stuff. Who would have thought? Wow, light bulb moment. And so I was actually doing all these micro new things, all these micro new habits that then turned me into being a Bali businessman with a network. I started building a social network in Bali. And the social network is what drove that business into being the most successful tattoo shop in the city. None were owned by foreigners. No foreigner could actually own a shop there without the right connections. But the fact that I went there, changed who I was, learned the language, became a connector, started connecting with a lot of people, went to every event I could, wearing like my tattoo shop shirt and, covered in tattoos and just being friendly. I was able to drive that business into super profitable very quickly. Still to this day, I don't have a more profitable business, I think, than that one because it's such low overhead. It's so simple. And I put so much heart into it. And that's what was beautiful about it is I restarted how I looked at the world. And then the things I started building were reflecting my new mindset and who I was. And those things started working. Now, that wasn't overnight. That took a couple of years. So don't think you're going to restart and you're going to be super successful right away. But like I said, the consistency with the intention, it'll pick up inertia. And then when the tests come, inevitably they came. Inevitably. I had to come at it with a new way of being that I was restarting my life as that new person. I had to act like that new person when old patterns came up. This is an important one. You have to make sure you're checking yourself as the new guy you want to be. Now, I'm dealing with situations right now that are very stressful, that I want to be my old self in those situations. I've been betrayed. There's people talking shit about me, getting cut out of a business, people stealing from me. It's a lot. And the old me would have wanted to been like, oh yeah? I'm just kidding. The old me would be way more emotionally volatile and want to be a lot more aggressive in this situation. Whereas I know the person I want to be and I'm trying to be actually is just elevated and just sees the gifts and the gratitude and lessons in this situation and knows that the only revenge I'm taking is success. And when you're restarting your life, Think of your higher self as working against your lower self, the self that's been causing the drama in your life, that causes the dysfunction, that causes the hate, the anguish, the shame, all the stuff in us that we hate, right? There's a part of Aren that is fucking his life up, that constantly fucks his life up. It's like, dude, stop being a fuck up. There's a part of all of us that have the lower self, bad habits, bad eating habits, whatever, lies, all the things that are like are ugly about us, right? We all have it. So there's the lower self, right? And then there's the higher self that's guiding us in our intuition to be the person we want to be in life, right? That's the part that's connected to God, to our intuition, to all the beautiful things about you, your heart. Now, your higher self doesn't hate your lower self. They're integrated. You are one whole person, and you have every aspect in you. But to restart your life, you got to listen to your higher self, and you got to build that connection to your higher self strong. So when you do that, it's not like you're going to be like, fuck you, lower self, and have beef with it. No, the only revenge you have in this situation is success. There's no revenge needed against yourself, but for all the people who didn't believe in you, for any drama in your life, for anything that's coming up that's friction against your path, the only thing you do is work hard to succeed. The only thing you do is let the drama go, forgive, keep swimming, move forward, be a shark, in the sense that sharks only breathe by swimming forward. You ever see the shark swim backward? It's not a thing. They don't. The oxygen goes through their gills, and they're able to swim forward, and that's how they breathe. That's how they live. Very present. Zen sharks. Don't be a cocaine shark. So as you're swimming forward, that's how you want to operate in restarting your life. Is the only way forward, and the only way to actually live and grow and breathe is by going forward and never going back to the old patterns. You see them come up, and you stop and you catch them. This is a practice. It's not easy. It's something I still deal with. We're always going to deal with it. Our lower self will always be there. But when we get our reps in, being powerful, training to align with our higher self every way we can, that's how you restart your life and let it stick. And you're going to consistently restart your life, your whole life. You're going to go through all these stages in your life. That's going to be the new stage of your life. New beginnings. There's always new beginnings. That's part of life. You're never going to be you like you are right now again. There's going to be a new version of you. Are you going to choose to evolve and be a better version? It's up to you. And that's something that I think is really powerful. And if you're able to look back on anything I said, take notes of it and think, how do you want to restart your life today? You don't need to be in a trauma situation. You don't need to be in a crazy situation. It doesn't need to be bad either. But you can restart your life today as the new version of you. So ask yourself, what is that new version of me going to walk like, talk like, look like? How are they going to roll? And then you choose to restart it. You choose your intention. I'm going to be this person now. Choose for good. Choose for love. Choose for better. Choose for contribution. Choose for spiritual evolution. Choose to make the world a better place. And that's what the path of the heart warrior is we're here. We're not scared. There's no fear. There's no hate. There's just love. And we have love for ourselves, and we're here to make a difference in the world. And that's the way to live that will fill you up, light your fire, keep it burning. And you constantly have to restart yourself to be better and better and better. So I hope you got something out of this one. I just wanted to go on a little solo rant about restarting your life, because I feel like a lot of you can relate and a lot of you can get something out of this. And that's my truest intention here. I just want to serve and help and hope that you vibe with it. So if you do, please share it. Let me know if you liked it. It means a lot to me. And restart your life today for the better. Big love, homies. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Ink, Pray, Love podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Ink, Pray, Love podcast. I hope you found it inspiring, entertaining, funny, and also feeling a little bit more present and connected to yourself. Please leave a review and like and subscribe and do all those things. I'd really appreciate that. As well as if you're feeling in a giving mood, this podcast is there for the charities that I love to support. Go to www.arenbahia.com/charity and get some of those good karma points. This podcast is brought to you by LightHouse Studios in Bali, as well as Full Reset Coaching. That is my coaching practice. And if you're looking for help in business, inner game impact, and building your legacy to be something you're proud of, your brand, your business, and how you walk the earth and who you impact, and also having the mindset and the heart set to be able to be happy handling it all, I'm here for you. Just DM me. Let's go. Peace out, homies. I'll see you on the next episode.